Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Firefly Out to the Black. So we had a kind of an influx of Firefly games lately, and this is probably one that kind of fell off the radar or under the radar to me, with the Gale Force 9 game being the big one. And this is a cooperative game, a cooperative card game where you'll be playing in the Firefly universe. Now, let me go over some pros of this game. It's Firefly. If you like Firefly, you'll probably at least want to check this game out. If you don't like Firefly, you can probably walk away and not miss anything, to be honest with you. Pro, they tried very hard to make a cooperative card game for Firefly, and on some levels they succeeded. It is a cooperative card game. Is it a great game? Well, we'll get into that, but it does accomplish the Firefly universe in a cooperative card game. Now, it's likely the second best Firefly game in the market. I put the Gale Force 9 game heads and shoulders above anything else in the market, and unless I'm forgetting something, I'm likely going to put this one second. So it has that going for it. Each character in the game does play a little bit differently and has a unique power. I think Mal is probably the best because you can reveal what cards he has for each one, and he has pretty good numbers. But some of the other ones have some good solid powers where you might want Mal in most games, and then the secondary characters kind of have situational powers. And some of the players work really good together, like Wash and Zoe they're married in the show, and they work really well in the game. That makes sense. Zoe and Mal work really well together. So some of these cards or characters will work better together, and you'll notice it as you're playing. So probably don't go totally 100% random with the characters. The game is pretty hard. That's pretty good for a cooperative game. You want a cooperative game to be difficult, and I think this game accomplishes that. The other half is you want it to be fun. I'll get that to it in a second. Really easy. New players can jump right in. I don't find this a very complicated game. If you can add and subtract, you can probably play this game. And you just have one guy, usually the first player, kind of start the game out, and within 2 or 3 minutes, you guys will be playing it no problem. Now, the cons are probably going to outweigh the pros in this game. The really big pro, you have to like Firefly. Now, the cons are, the theme is still, even though I said it captures it, it's still kind of pasted on. You're playing these cards, you're doing these things, but there's not a lot of backstory to why you're doing it. Now, there's a lack of art in the game. For something that went out and got a license, it should be notorious for the lack of art in the game. You don't really see a lot of the characters. You see a lot of generic Alliance screenshots. A lot of Serenity cards have no art on them at all. Matter of fact, the whole deck doesn't. So a lack of art when they're trying to pull that theme. I think it pulls you out of the theme just a tad. The tracking board is too small, and the pieces they give you are too big. It doesn't really work that well. It's all you have, so you have to use it, or use a pen and paper or a phone or something, but it doesn't work all that well. There's lots of jobs that don't include all players. So when you go out on these jobs that you have, they may only require 1, 2, or 3 people, even though you're playing with 4 or 5. So you can literally go on a job where the only one player is doing anything, and that's really boring. And if you have a character most people see as being substandard, then you may not go on many jobs at all. So you're just kind of sitting there rooting everybody on. That's not a great mechanic for me. The game is heavily luck driven. You're gonna have cards that are gonna be randomly assigned to you. These cards are everything in the game. If you don't have the right ones at the right time, you're pretty much going to be screwed. This game is 100% math. This is gonna turn some people off because it's very simple math. I'm gonna add 2 with this card. I'm gonna add 3 with this card. Maybe we should do another one because a random card's gonna come out and subtract something. Maybe. The rules are tough, and I'll get into this more in detail, but they use a lot of the verbiage and language from the show, which just makes it very, very tough to read. It's not very user-friendly. And the worst thing about this game, the absolute worst thing about this game, the cardinal sin that it has, is it's boring. So it's got the cooperative hard, but it also includes the cooperative death trap boring. I just did not find this game fun. I wanted to like it. I wanted to like the Firefly universe. There's actually a game here. It works. It's just boring. And it's especially boring if they're on jobs where you're just sitting around watching them play. Now this happens in the Resistance, but you're still plugged in. You still want to know who's doing what, and you're having conversations while it's going on. And it works in the Resistance. It doesn't work here. It's just boring. So this is an absolute miss for me. If you really like Firefly, I say give this a try. Otherwise, I'm going to be purging this one. Components for Firefly Out of the Black. It's a little bit bigger than what you would consider to be portable, but it is a fairly portable game. It's not absurd for a little component, little cooperative game here. The most appealing thing about the components are probably going to be the box. You've got stills from the game or from the show. That's probably going to be the most appealing. You're going to buy it for this box, okay? It's not going to be the game, it's going to be the box. You're going to have an instruction manual. It is very wordy. There are some pictures that kind of draw you in the universe. And they do kind of a unique thing here where they try to talk. First up is the prospect phase. This is where the leader prepares a job and only the leader. And it's just kind of spoken as if it's something. See those numbers next to fighting, flying, and thinking? Those are the job's target skills. It's just kind of spoken in a weird language, like as if from the show. You're also going to have these little chits that will be used throughout the game. Some for money and some for honor. I'll show you what these look like. Usual thickness that you see. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. You're going to have a few of these other little things that you'll use. These are really too small or big for what you get, to be honest. And then you're going to get a number of cards here. These are going to be the Serenity cards, all the back. So kind of be this generic Serenity thing here. When you turn them around, you can notice a still from the show, something on it, and then what it does. Cancel an alliance card. Choose an inactive player. A wild card. Fighting card. And this is what most of them are going to be, just this huge icon that you see. Very generic looking. And then you're going to have Goramit, which is a curse word in the show. It's going to be bad things that can happen for you. So, redraw the lowest result number. The leader chooses which in the event of a tie. If this job is multiplayer, the leader's played cards or discards. These are cards that will hurt you, that will come up. You can tell this is a little bit smaller of a deck than the other ones. Then you're going to have what you're going to have for most, which are going to be the job cards. And this is what you're going to be trying to do. And you're going to get a spreadsheet. So you need to get, first off, I guess it'll tell you how many players can be part of it. So 4, 3, you'll see at the top. This one's only one player can go. This is what you're trying to accomplish, so 12, 9, and 11, and what you get based on what you're able to do. So if you're only able to accomplish one of those, as long as it's flying, it's only -3. If you get fighting, flying, and thinking, it's a +2 to money and +2 to your honor. So it's just a little spreadsheet on each card. Then you're going to have these alliance cards. It's a little bit smaller than smallest deck I think possible. This is some random stuff that will come. Randomly choose one completed job and shuffle it back into the job deck. -1 credit from reward when job calls for a credit, gain or lose. So this is just alliance cards that will come up. If you watch the show, you know all about the alliance. So those are the 4 decks. You're going to get the chits. That's really all that you're going to get in there card-wise. This is the tracking where you'll be able to track as you're playing cards, and this is the wild. One of the bad things about this, just how it doesn't work all that well. So this is this little small thing that goes there, and that works okay. Then you kind of put the goal there where you're trying to go. But when you go to the 5, you're just kind of pushing this along. It doesn't work that well. Really, it's just a stat tracker. You can pretty much just chuck this and count things as you go. It's not that bad to just count it. The great thing is these have the reference sheet on the back of your player card, which you will need to use. This is not very user friendly because it'd be really awesome if you had this while you're playing. So you might want to take 2 characters, one you're playing and then one for the reference card, because otherwise you won't get to see your powers and your stats and everything that's unique to your character. But all the main characters, Kaylee, and you got River, Janie, and Inara, Zoe, Malcolm, Shepard, Simon, and Wash. All the main characters are on here. It's very different. You can see the numbers here and then the power that they would have here. Let's see if I can show you this. Automatically select a flying skill target if Wash is participating in the job. And they do a really good job of certain characters bouncing off the other ones and working together based on how they would in the show. The rulebook is just a complete mess to me. I mean, here are some things that it says in it that just makes it really difficult. Aftermath phase. You're not out of the woods just yet, because here's what we see what Fate has to say about getting this job done. Didn't tell you anything how to play the game. Everyone can now go ahead and reveal their face down Serenity cards. That's the only sentence you need. Are you sweating yet? Add up your total skill numbers. I get they're going for theme here. I get that they're trying to add the universe to it, but it just makes it difficult to read. And it was just a decision they made, and it was the wrong one. Here's another one. Let's see. Once a crew is picked, everyone, starting with the leader and moving clockwise, consults their game abilities, credit, and honor actions, and their in-hand Serenity cards for anything they can play to help succeed in a job. Some cards have a big, bold number on them. These are skill, and that's good. They're still using the language, but it's just the added stuff in the game that doesn't work. So the rulebook is a miss to me. You'll learn the game. It's not that difficult. It just makes it harder, which the rulebook should make things easier. So the rulebook's a total miss to me. I'm going to try to show you how to play this game the best that I can. It's really not that hard of a game to play. So everybody will pick a character they want to be. It's probably pretty smart if you want to have a chance of winning, of getting ones that work well together. So I'm just going to start with Malcolm. It's 2, 1, and 1. This asterisk or the star by it means whenever you play cards, everybody else can see what you're going to play. That's pretty handy. So you have these stacks of cards that you'll be using throughout the game. Now I'll just kind of show you how they work. So the first thing you're going to do is, if you're the leader, you're going to take a job card and you reveal it. And this tells you single player. So I can only take myself on this job because I'm the leader. Now some of these jobs will allow you to take other people on them. 4-player jobs. So I could pick 3 other players to go with me if they're at the table. This one 3, so I can take 2 other players. Yes. During a round of the game, I will be the only one playing and everybody else will be watching me. How exciting. So what you're trying to do is, I'm trying to get fighting 3, flying 4, and thinking 4 to accomplish it here to get rewards or minimize what hurts me. Now he'll start with 2, 1, and 1, so I'm going to be playing these Serenity cards that I have to add to my score. Now, if you don't have a star by the skill, if you look here on Kaylee, she only has a star by flying. So if she plays a fighting card, she has to place it down. So nobody can know exactly what I played. Otherwise, you can play it up. This is a weird mechanic just to make the game easier. So if Kaylee was playing a fighting card, it would go down. And you're not allowed to tell people necessarily what you played. So everybody's going to play these cards. Whoever's going, if you were able to go some other people, you would add those up, and then you would reveal one of these gourmet cards. Add +1 fighting, +1 flying, and +1 thinking to the required amount for the job. So these will be just random stuff that hurt you. They make things more difficult for no reason at all. So when you're doing this and you're trying to get one of these jobs, you don't want to just stop at 3, 4, 4 because something bad is going to happen, or more than likely going to happen. You just don't know which one or what. So it's really just kind of a crapshoot. So if you're not, I don't know. Is that fun? Maybe. Maybe for some. So then you reveal the numbers. You'll sign you know, if you won honor, lost honor, won money, all that you won, and then you start another round. That's really all there is to it. And then you're just going to keep doing that over and over, kind of playing these random cards. Now, this is just a stat tracker, so when you're playing it, technically, you would put, you know, this is the goal. We're trying to get 5 fight, I guess. And then you would use this to just kind of track when you're going up and down. It's kind of silly. So it's just a matter of adding up the cards. I mean, it's almost like munching it, but you can't always see what's being played cooperatively. And you're hoping you're able to continue over the amount that you're having. You'll play a number of rounds, and if you're able to succeed and win, then you win the game. It's a pretty hard game, actually. In certain rounds, you're going to kind of lose on purpose. I don't know that it's a tremendous amount of fun that you see right here, but this is what they put before us and are calling it Firefly Out to the Black. Who should buy this game? I'm going to recommend this only for hardcore fans of Firefly. If you really want a cooperative card game with the Firefly name on the box, this is it. It does have the Firefly name on the box, Firefly. I don't know that you're going to feel like you're in the universe, although the characters really try hard at that. The cards, the main component of the game, are gonna let you down, I think. I don't feel like I'm in the universe, but if you're a really big Firefly, go ahead and give it a shot. Buy it. It's cheap. Don't pay a lot for this game. Try before you buy it. I am going to purge it. It's going to leave my collection. And I like Firefly, if that tells you anything. So that's where we sit. Purge.